Parliament have called for tougher actions against the government of South Africa over failure to handle xenophobic attacks against foreign nationals. Some MPs going to an extent of saying there are South Africans all over South Africa and they can be easily targeted. And one speaker could be heard in that parliament saying we can also take this war to their doorstep. There is seemingly an escalation in terms of tensions between the Republic of South Africa as well as also the Republic of Nigeria. Nigerians seemingly not pleased with what is unfolding in South Africa. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. Opol posted as follows, saying Nigeria's parliament has moved to escalate tensions with South Africa following renewed outrage over xenophobic or Afrophobic attacks targeting Nigerians living there, with lawmakers in Abuja debating punitive measures against Africa's most industrialized economy. The Nigerian Senate and House of Representatives this week condemned what lawmakers described as persistent Afrophobic attacks, harassments, and killings of Nigerians in South Africa, triggering one of the strongest parliamentary reactions seen in years between the continent's two biggest powers. During a heated debate, the Senate, some legislators called for retaliatory economic measures against South Africa, including sanctions and restrictions on major South African companies operating in Nigeria, such as MTN and Multiple Choice, the owners of DSTV. Former Edo State Governor and Senior Senator Adams Ashiom Hall was among those who argued that Nigeria could no longer continue responding with silence while Nigerians were allegedly being attacked and humiliated in South Africa. Other lawmakers proposed a review of bilateral agreements between the two countries and called for the African Union and ECOWAS to formally intervene in the matter. However, Nigeria stopped short of formally approving sanctions. Instead, the Senate resolved to establish a joint parliamentary delegation that will travel to South Africa for a diplomatic and fact-finding mission aimed at engaging the South African Parliament directly over the attacks. Nigeria's Senate President, Goodwill's Akpa Gayo, urged restraint during the debate, arguing that diplomacy and engagements should be prioritized before retaliation. The Nigerian Parliament also observed a minute of silence for Nigerians allegedly killed in South Africa and called on Abuja to strengthen protection mechanisms for Nigerians living there, including possible evacuation and emergency response measures if the situation deteriorates further. The move comes amid rising tensions in South Africa over illegal immigration, unemployment, and crime, issues that have increasingly spilled into anti-foreigner rhetoric and violence, particularly against migrants from other African countries. South Africa has repeatedly denied being a xenophobic country, arguing that crime affects both citizens and foreigners alike, but recurring attacks on foreign nationals over the years have continued to damage the country's image across the continent, especially in Nigeria, which has historically viewed itself as one of Africa's strongest defenders of liberation struggles, including the fight against apartheid. The latest Nigerian parliamentary reaction in Nigeria reflects in Nigeria reflects growing frustration among African states over what many now openly describe as Afrophobia in South Africa, a term increasingly being used instead of xenophobia because the violence disproportionately affects black African migrants rather than foreigners from Europe or North America. The total annual turnover of South African businesses in Nigeria is US 10 billion annually, with MTN generating about 3.4 billion in revenue in 2025, accounting for roughly 27% of the entire MTN Group's global revenue. South African companies operating in Nigeria include MTN Group, Multiple Choice, DSTV, Standard Bank, Stanbic, IBTC, Shoprite, Pepco, Pepstore, Protea Hotels, Submiller, AB, InBev, Tiger Brands, South African Airways, and various South African mining, logistics, and financial services companies. Let's hear the parliamentarians in Nigeria actually having this debate. I'll be playing their voices shortly.
Yes. But we see what they have done to Zimbabweans, to Ghanaians.
When we hit back, the president of South Africa will not only talk, he will go on his knees to recognize that Nigerians cannot be intimidated, and we do not condone any one life being lost. If a crime has been committed under South African law, they have the right to bring any sort of person to justice. But to kill our people as if we are helpless, we are not.
For this word should be sent across to South Africa. We know where South Africans are, not only Nigeria, but all over Africa. And we can take this fight to their territory, if need be. But we cannot sit down and, typical of some of us, lament when this is happening.
In a dramatic escalation of tension.
So these were parliamentarians.
Apartheid regime in South Africa. You recall fire in Soweto when they were being burnt down. South Africans, black South Africans, they were hiding in their homes. And Nigeria came out very strongly to stand with them as our brothers and our sisters. The government of General Murtala Mohammed, though a military regime, said that Africa shall be the center of Nigeria's foreign policy. And a lot of our resources were deployed to providing succor to the black South Africans. If we knew, or if Murtala Mohammed and sovereign governments knew that South Africa can stand up and begin to insult Nigerians, would have turned the other way. They won't have the liberty they have today. So for them to take Nigerians like animals is not acceptable. The African Union, which South Africa is a member, should rise now and impose all necessary sanctions against South Africa. Nigeria should also do reprisal sanctions against these people because they're also living in Nigeria. They enjoy the liberties, the freedom to live in another country. Because the white man developed South Africa, they're not think that anybody who has come to South Africa is coming to enjoy. But when they were under the gruesome regime of apartheid, they had nobody to run to except State Nigeria. So I want to say that this report from the committee chairman of Senate Committee on Diaspora should be taken very seriously. There are some who cannot even come back. They arrest them and seize their traveling documents and throw them into jails. Some are taken to the courts and they will be denied legal representation. These were the complaints I got in 2024. When they apprehend any Nigerian, they take him to court and deny him legal representation. Nobody will speak for you. And they throw the person in jail. So, my distinguished colleagues, South Africa should receive a warning from this Senate, this Parliament, and the government of Nigeria, so that they know that freedom of movement is guaranteed under the Charter of the African Union. We cannot continue this way at all. And these killings should be investigated. Nigeria will demand serious investigation in South Africa. It should not be doing like this. Yes. Otherwise, we wait for them here. If we see them here, we'll tell that this country belongs to very civilized and strong people. We are not weak. We are not weak. We are not weak. I so submit. They should respect Nigerians in South Africa. No, please. I'm very angry about this. Don't tell me to submit. I'm very angry. If you go there, you see the inhuman treatment they're giving to Nigerians. Why should they do that? So, Mr. President, thank you.
Everybody feels
I've spoken
pain.
out of my.
We feel your pain.
Because I saw these things when I went there.
Don't worry, Senator.
Nigerians should be hiding in South Africa.
Go ahead. It's not a discussion of one day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
If we spend the whole day of today on this matter alone, it's worth it, Mr. President. There cannot be anything more important than this, of course, except the security of lives and property in Nigeria. Nigerians killed, maimed, businesses destroyed. What are we here for? We speak for them. And I want to agree with you completely too, before I go ahead to agree with what the submission of Senator Negi is, that we need to align with our other side of government. We need to have proper briefing, but we need to stand on our two legs on this, because our party.
Well, this was the discussions by the Nigerians that took place today. They are worried about the developments that are occurring in South Africa, where xenophobic is ruling, and I mean the anti-foreigner sentiment is actually growing. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button, so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can press also the thanks button and send us stars. Okancinga Umhlabane is signing off.